Work and play seamlessly. Our award-winning service ensures affordable, secure, and reliable connectivity, setting us apart. Ready to transform your internet experience? Experience the fiber difference today. Sign up now at allofiber.com. Allo.
Your sprinklers are watering the street or flooding your backyard. If you're on a list that doesn't exist, it's time for Judson Irrigation. At Judson Irrigation, Lee or Lacey or Judson will make an appointment. You pick the time and they'll be there to fix your sprinkler system. Now that's service, a dying art these days.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is the Don't Punt Hour with former Nebraska receiver.
Throwing over the middle, completes the pass. He's got speed to the end zone. Touchdown! 45 yards.
And return specialist.
This time he beats the kicker and one more.
DeMornay Pierson-El.
Not only does the sideline have confidence in Pierson-El, but Pierson-El has confidence in Pierson-El.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into Ticket Weeknights. Once again, Harrison Arns on the ones and twos. I will carry you through the entire night, all the way up until we get to that 10 o'clock hour. Then we'll set up some replays for you, and you'll be joined by Ben. And someone else from the Daily Nebraskan will join him as well and kind of give you the updates throughout the whole week of Nebraska events. But with that being said, this is the Don't Punt Hour. We got DeMornay Pierson-El on the Allo VIP line, where they appreciate or they understand the importance of exceptional service with a local heart. DeMornay Pierson-El, how's it going on this Wednesday night?
It's going good, enjoying a beautiful day.
Absolutely. We don't have to talk about the cold anymore, so I'm not going to spend any more time on it. And if you guys want to join the show, 402-464-5685, Starter Human text line, always available to you. But let's go ahead and start into arguably the blockbuster trade so far. Stephon Diggs, the Buffalo Bills traded the Pro Bowler to Houston Texans for draft picks and compensation. The Bills received a 2025 second-round pick via the Minnesota Vikings in exchange for Diggs, a 2024 sixth-round pick, and a 2025 fifth-round selection. The Texans acquired from the Vikings when they traded their 2024 first-round pick to Minnesota last month. If you're trying to figure out where that Minnesota pick came from. But just overall thoughts, let's talk about this trade, and then we can dive into winners and losers. What's the initial thoughts?
I didn't see this one coming. I know there was some turmoil, or I know there was some back and forth, the past couple of years. But I don't think he was a problem with, getting them over the edge. I don't think it wasn't because of him not stepping up. I know, his last showing against the Chiefs wasn't the best, but I felt like, he was a core piece of their offense, of their identity. And it's just a little shocking, but it's the business. Things happen like this to see him separated, but he's not in a bad situation at all. So I guess it's working out. Both sides got what they wanted out of the deal. So
yeah, it's a little brutal. There is still no real answer on if he requested the trade or not. I don't think they've answered that one for us yet. It's okay. They have declined to say whether it was requested or not. So I'm going to assume it was requested if they're going to deny the question about it. But just in that stance, I think it was requested because now they are sitting with 31 in dead space and dead cap money. That is certainly because of the Diggs situation. I'm excited to see what it looks like for the Texans and CJ Stroud. But before we go there, let's just stick with the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen, he loses a key guy. We saw this with Patrick Mahomes, too, when he lost Tyreek Hill, but yet he proved he was still an elite quarterback. Are you worried about this Bills offense at all losing a weapon in Diggs, or do you think they still have enough around it and you're trusting Josh Allen to kind of figure out new answers to get this offense running?
Ever since their offensive coordinator left to go to to take the Giants job, Josh Allen has kind of, not fully taken, those next steps and not like looking each year better and better. At times he looks good and then it slacks off with stuff. I think it hurts him a little bit because you not only lose Diggs, but you also don't have Gabe Davis there either. Gabe, I think, believe signed with Jacksonville.
Yep.
So from the standpoint on the offensive side of your number one and your number two punch are now gone, those are big shoes to fill. It's the NFL. They have draft. You can draft guys. There are some good veterans that are still out there, or you can still trade for pieces. I'm not sure how their offense is going to look. They already, were struggling with the run game. I know they kind of figured it out late last season, or in the playoffs, it looked, more effective. But losing Steph and then, losing Gabe, that hurts. So I don't know what their identity is going to be. I know what Josh Allen brings, the gunslinger mentality, big arm, play action. But I don't know who's going to be there to, step in and fill those roles in the same way.
Yeah, it definitely feels like they're going to have to try to make a trade here to get a little more talent on there. Just their wide receiver core right now just doesn't seem very deep. But again, that's kind of what I thought with the Kansas City Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes. And we even kind of saw this last year. It's still fair to say that wasn't the greatest wide receiver core. And yet here comes the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. I'm still in the camp that thank God they kind of fixed their run game towards the end of last season because I think they're going to need that. But I do trust Josh Allen to continue to find a way. I think they're going to try to find a way to get some more weapons in there. But definitely this to me reads as a surprise to the Buffalo Bills, not one that they're anticipating and one they're going to have to scramble to try to fix. Do you think this was kind of a surprise, or do you think this was a long time coming and there was talks between Diggs? Because again, I can't get over that dead cap, $31.1 million in dead cap space money. I mean, that's a lot to swallow.
I'm pretty sure, the issues was addressed. But I from the outside looking in and what he said about the organization and what he said about playing with, Josh Allen and everything like that, I thought, the situation could be fixed and, they would come to terms to get that done. They made him, one of the highest paid receivers a couple years ago when he traded out of Minnesota. I thought, again, like I said, that it was a match made in heaven. That there were necessarily no issues, but then again, there's a lot of things that the outside world doesn't hear or actually get the full story on early on. And this is probably one of those things, but it's definitely surprising because I didn't see Diggs not being in a Buffalo uniform.
It felt like definitely not this soon. It would have been like a later towards the end of his career, kind of Hopkins case where you bounce around, try to get some more reps. But no, this was definitely a surprise for me. I think it's going to hurt the Bills. I think Josh Allen's probably the biggest loser in this, unless, again, they had some sort of idea that this was going down, and hopefully they got some plan to kind of patch that room back together. But it's definitely a significant loss. You mentioned it, Davis too.
I would try if I were them. T. Higgins is definitely on my list early. You have probably 2 second-round picks, compensation picks. So I mean, you can kind of make that deal with the Bengals. Excuse me, maybe not, because they're both in the AFC and probably will have to see each other in the playoffs. But that's a replacement early on and out there. But yeah, that hurts. And especially not having an offensive-minded coach. I know you alluded to Patrick Mahomes and whatnot, but Patrick Mahomes also had Andy Reid, which is a defining factor. So I think the Bills lose. Are the loser right now, not just Josh Allen. Not just Josh Allen.
Yeah, now let's go ahead and switch over to the team that, in my opinion, totally won this. They sacrificed quite a bit, but I think they see something special in C.J. Stroud that they want to build around. I think they showed that by getting Joe Mixon as well out of the Cincinnati Bengals. Now you add Diggs along with Nico Collins. I mean, the Texans roster is getting scarier as the season's approaching, even though it's still so far away. This looks like a roster that has a chance to not only get to the playoffs, but maybe make some serious noise in there as well. what does this add in terms of the offense for this Texans team that they've been pretty active and they just landed a star in Diggs?
I think this, blows the roof off of it because on just about every level on the offensive team, you have, probably a Pro Bowler now. I think the Tunsil dude, I think their left tackle, he's a Pro Bowler. You got Dalton Schultz, who was with the Cowboys last year or a year before last year, who is an amazing player. They signed him to an extension, which is good. They had a young wide receiver core, which you didn't really know. They still, figured it out. And you add Diggs into that offense. CJ is just gonna air it out even more. And you got Joe Mixon that, okay, if they don't do it through the air, you're still gonna have to respect them, running the football. So they are on the up for sure.
Yeah, and then just a guy like CJ Stroud, I think year 2 could be incredible for him right off the bat. Any fear of him having a quote-unquote sophomore slump? He seems like a guy that's just not going to be phased. And I think, again, I don't know if this is a guy that needs a ton of time to get used to his team. He was extremely comfortable in year 1, and you shout out the head coach as well. But I think this Texans team isn't going to take a lot of time to get things going. Year 2, what is that win-loss total for this Texans team as we're way too far out projections? But again, I'm really high on this move. I know they sacrificed quite a bit for it, but they can really make a jump, I think, in already year 2 with CJ Stroud.
Wins and losses, I don't know, but I would have to see their schedule. But I mean, them making the playoffs, I think is definitely a plus. I don't think him having a slump will have anything to do with it. He showed he operates at a high level, effectively and efficiently. And the game will start to slow down. So I think you might actually see, one of those record-breaking, sophomore years or year 2 that, that you'll see in quarterback careers that you talk about that, established them. You remember Justin Herbert early on in his career, they were talking about, he was 5,000 this or 4,000 that and over 40 touchdowns. I think, he's eyeing that, and it won't be anything shy of 4,000, passing yards. And I'll probably say over 40, 45 touchdowns easily.
Yeah, that's my dark horse. I mean, I'm going to put him well over 10 wins. Maybe not well, but I think I'll go ahead and give him 12 wins on it. Last season, they were 10-7. Again, year 1, they are in that AFC South division, so that definitely helps that win-loss total.
Their only competition right now would be Jacksonville.
Yeah.
And I say that just because, with Lawrence and his health. But, I mean, Jacksonville's still reloaded. They got Doug Peterson down there, who was a Super Bowl winning coach. So be on the lookout for them. Other than that, Vrabel is gone. In Tennessee, I don't think Tennessee will be the same Tennessee. Not in a bad way. It's just, year 1, new coach going in a different way. Vrabel was a defensive coach. Their coach in there now is more of an offensive coach. So I think they'll be a little bit different. And then you never know what Indianapolis is going to be. I know they have, that quarterback coming back. And, the Eagles' old offensive, coordinator who got Justin Hurts to be what he is today. But you still don't know because, their guy went out hurt early in the season. So they're definitely in the running for winning their conference, for sure.
Yeah, it seems like the Texans kind of have it all figured out right now. It's definitely one of those teams where that's an exciting team that I might go ahead and try to buy that league pass just so I can make sure I can get all those Texans games, because CJ Stroud year 1 showed a lot. Year 2, I'm not expecting it to be too much different. And he's getting more talent. Year 2 with that head coach definitely garnered the respect of that roster, taking them to the top of the AFC South. This is a team that feels like it has all the pieces to go off and rolling. And before we go to our break here, I got to talk about the Chicago Bears, because we're getting to the point. Seems pretty clear. Caleb Williams is going to lead that unit. Montez Sweat, they signed him to a big deal to lead that defense. With the Chicago Bears, the only problem is the NFC North is brutal. The Green Bay Packers are young, but they proved they're good already. The Vikings, you don't really know, but the Detroit Lions certainly proved a lot last year. The Chicago Bears, I think they have even more weapons, debating, kind of hinging on what Caleb Williams can do in year one. But that division is brutal. Is this a year that the Chicago Bears can try to finally break through, or just because of that division and how it's been, and maybe your trusted Eberflus as the head coach, Chicago Bears, where are you sitting with them as they try to finally get out of this hole and get into postseason play?
They're going to finish last in their conference, and it's not going to be close. It's going to be ugly. I know they have some pieces there, but everybody else is dominant, even Minnesota without a quarterback. You don't know what they're going to do in the draft. They still have the pieces. So it's almost a dumpster fire there.
You're killing me. Absolutely not. Not a dumpster fire. I wouldn't go that far. They've got...
Okay.
You're picking them last. Okay, so you're giving the Minnesota Vikings better season than the Bears next year.
I'm picking the Vikings.
Okay, that's surprising. I will say it hinges on Caleb Williams, but I do like what the Chicago Bears are doing. I still was kind of in the camp. I would have rather kept Justin Fields. Caleb Williams seems to have a lot of those, but that is a Cinderella pick for me.
You got a rookie quarterback who majority of his games will probably play outside. He's a Western, he's a West Coast kid. I know he grew up on the East Coast. He's a West Coast kid, played out there, sunny. He'll be in different weather conditions. And I don't know how that will affect him.
Yeah, I mean, it's for a point, just fact that CJ Stroud, obviously playing in Texas, not too much of a difference for him. But, I mean, how much does that weather really play for quarterbacks? Because you mentioned that quite a bit. When you're ranking quarterbacks, and not necessarily ranking, but you're looking at QBs in the draft, are you seriously looking at location and weather? How high is that sitting up there for you? Because I don't think you're entirely wrong in that.
I wouldn't say it's high up, but it definitely gives you an edge with things, versus just look at Stroud. Stroud played at Ohio State. He played all, Big Ten teams. He played in the cold weather, so he's been in it and he's been out of it. The good news with that is, half of their division, half of the, NFC North have domes. So even some of your away games, you're still going to be inside. So that's, a bonus. But when you're coming from the West Coast, you've been, the West Coast 3-4 years, to get thrown into that. I don't want to be in Chicago in November when, the wind. I don't know how strong his arm is against, those types of, that Midwest wind. I don't know how he's going to, perform if things aren't going well while it's cold and whatnot and everything like that. So, weather can definitely change, your attitude and whatnot. And I'm not sure we've necessarily seen him perform in those type of environments to gauge that. So you don't really, you don't know what you're getting with that. Versus Fields just played in there. He played at Ohio State. They played at Michigan. They played at Penn State. In Nebraska or and whatnot. So you kind of, get callous to the weather. So, I mean, I don't think it changes a whole lot, but it's definitely a factor.
Yeah. And, there's always kind of been that, you think about a guy coming from BYU heading up to the New York Jets, that's just a completely different landscape. And again, I think that's kind of why Sam Darnold just career blew up. It was a tough road for him to try to get that thing started up there.
And he also got drafted to the Jets now. Come on. Let's not, come on.
I'm just saying that's a culture shock going from BYU up to the New York Jets. I just think sometimes those things can matter, but it'll be interesting to see. And I'm glad you mentioned the stadiums because, I mean, teams like the Green Bay Packers, the Buffalo Bills, and the Green Bay, they're not going to put a dome on their stadium ever, I don't think. And again, it makes sense if what you're saying is true, right? Because that cold weather can definitely play an element. But as we're on stadiums, we got to talk about that on the next segment with the Kansas City Chiefs, the Royals. That thing got shot down in a hurry as they're trying to get some taxes to go ahead and pay for those Arrowhead renovations and a new stadium for the Kansas City Royals. Missouri said, no, sir, we're not voting for that. You guys can try to figure out a way to pay for that yourselves. So we'll dive into that next. Before we go to break, we got one comment. The conservative Husker says, dang, I missed this guy. I'm assuming that's for you, not me. So shout out to him. Obviously a DPE fan back in the day. But nonetheless, we'll throw it to break here. This is the Don't Punt Hour. Got DeMarne Pierson-El on the Allo VIP line and possibly streaming in as well if you want to put a face to the voice. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and of course, Allo Channel 961. Don't go anywhere. We'll throw it to break and be right back.
If the week's been too hectic to even think about dinner, or your family can't handle one more night of leftovers, then it's time to let Hog Wild do the cooking. Hog Wild's family packs are one heck of a good deal for a complete barbecue meal loaded with all the smoked meats, tasty sides, buns, and sauces you need to feed your family. Order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
Whether you're looking for a place to stay for a concert at PBA, a Nebraska home game, or just a night on the town, the Courtyard Lincoln Downtown Haymarket is the place for you. Enjoy an evening at one of many restaurants or bars within a short walking distance. Business travelers at the hotel will enjoy free high-speed internet access, a 24-hour business center, and large in-room workstations. And check out the Bistro, where you'll enjoy healthier food and beverage options, as well as high-tech conveniences. Book your room today at the Courtyard Lincoln Downtown Haymarket.
This is James Harrell with NP Dodge Real Estate. When I became a licensed realtor, I wanted a brokerage that would help me grow in my new career. I found that in Lincoln First Realty. When Lincoln First was acquired by NP Dodge, the training and support I received only got better. I love knowing I have the power of the NP Dodge brand behind me. I would recommend NP Dodge to new agents looking to jumpstart their real estate career and to current agents who want to take their business to the next level.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
Grab a free burger and beer at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln on April 27th during their Husker Spring Game tailgate. Meet the Elway Power Sports team, play some tailgate games with them, and enter for a chance to win an official John Elway autographed football. Check out their huge selection of boats and watercraft for the summer, along with hundreds of motorcycles, ATVs, and side-by-sides from all the major brands. Stop out and watch the game with them on April 27th. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, 27th and I-80. They'll be tailgating all day.
At Fairway Meat Market, your family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Now through April 7th, enjoy USDA Choice 8-ounce New York strips for $6.99 each, hickory smoked bacon for $4.99 per pound, fresh boneless, skinless chicken breast for $2.99 per pound, and whole tri-tip for $9.99 per pound. That's all at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Spring is here. It's time to get back outside and into proper shoes this year. Brown Shoe Fit is the place to buy this spring with their sale on athletic shoes. Get $15 off any regular price athletic shoes with respected brands like Hoka, Brooks, New Balance, and On Running. And don't forget, Browns carries a large arrangement of sizes and widths to fit your feet properly. Start your spring off right at Brown Shoe Fit, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Constructors is now hiring for all positions, with laborers starting at $23 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for laborers, mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offers great pay, health, dental, and vision insurance, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
John Henry's has a brand new membership club to protect your entire home in one program. With a VIP and a deluxe option, we will help you find the plan that best fits your needs. Receive discounts on services and equipment, priority service, complimentary inspections, and so much more. Protect your home's plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical systems all in one membership. Call John Henry's to learn more.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing. Heating and air. Go Hog Wild Pet Barbecue.
If the week's been too hectic to even think about dinner, or your family can't handle one more night of leftovers, then it's time to let Hog Wild do the cooking. Hog Wild's family packs are one heck of a good deal for a complete barbecue meal loaded with all the smoked meats, tasty sides, buns, and sauces you need to feed your family. Order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
Whether you're looking for a place to stay for a concert at PBA, a Nebraska home game, or just a night on the town, the Courtyard Lincoln Downtown Haymarket is the place for you. Enjoy an evening at one of many restaurants or bars within a short walking distance. Business travelers at the hotel will enjoy free high-speed internet access, a 24-hour business center, and large in-room workstations. And check out the Bistro, where you'll enjoy healthier food and beverage options, as well as high-tech conveniences. Book your room today at the Courtyard Lincoln Downtown Haymarket.
This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, DeMornay Pierson-El.
All right, welcome back into the Don't Punt Hour. Harrison Horn is on the ones and twos as always. We got DeMornay Pierson-El, the host of the show, streaming in. And again, if you guys ever want to join in, that's 402-464-5685. We'll always take your comments as they come in, as long as it's not too crazy. We'll read them here right on air. But nonetheless, we kind of finished up the last segment talking about a new stadium that got shut down in a hurry. I was a little bit surprised by it. You think about, the baseball team, I can see why the Royals, maybe not. But the Kansas City Chiefs, that would help their renovations. And to get the numbers for you quick, basically, Kansas City Royals and the Chiefs were thrown in the question Tuesday night when residents of Jackson County, Missouri, resoundingly voted down a sales tax measure that would have helped fund a new downtown ballpark, along with major renovations to Arrowhead Stadium. Kind of surprising. It was about, I think it was roughly 70,000 people said no. About 55,000 people said yes. Surprised at all that Missouri, Kansas City fans, they're not having it with this tax. They're saying, go ahead, figure out a way to pay for it, but we're not doing it.
I'm not surprised if they can, I think Dallas new stadium got paid the same way with the tolls.
Mm-hmm.
So not surprised that they're, telling them to figure it out another way. And probably, honestly, that is probably the honest way of doing it. The lesser people in the food chain shouldn't be taxed for other luxurious and everything like that. So, I think they did right on that part.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised. I mean, Andy,
you make all that money through the stadium and everything like that. You paying Patrick Mahomes a percentage of, equity with the Royals, and you paying him over $300 million, and you can't find a way to do things and renovate a new stadium. Like, come on now, like let's be smart here.
Yeah, I don't know. I've always been in that camp. I'm like, pay for your own damn stadiums. You guys make insane money, especially when you're talking about. I was also kind of surprised to hear Andy Reid. I respect him, and maybe he just knows more than I do. But I was very surprised to kind of see him back up that proposal to put that tax on it. But you guys make so much money
because that will probably free up a lot more money that they can pay players or something like that. Probably.
Yeah, I'm just sick and tired of let's tax the everyday man for a new super state, because if not everyone's a Royals and Chiefs fan, and to have to pay tax on that, it always kind of blows my mind. As much as I love sports, I wouldn't pay if I lived in Chicago. Build your own damn arena. Like, I'm sorry, I don't want to be paying my taxes.
I'm not paying for that.
Yeah, so surprising there. I thought it'd have a chance just because they run they were on. I was like, maybe everyone's thinking Chiefs Nation, let's go. Let's see if we can get it to the next
I
level.
think their loyalty goes to a certain point when it's time to build your own stadium. Time out. That's where we get off. That's where we get off the ship. That's where we draw the line.
Yeah, and I mean, the Kansas City Chiefs Stadium, I went there last year. It's still a beautiful stadium, and it's just one of those things where you can gather the time to find more time to renovate that stadium. But the Arrowhead Stadium is nowhere needs at a dire need of a renovation. The Royals Stadium, okay, I can understand that one, but even then, Kansas City Royals, the stadium they have in right now, it doesn't quite add up for that tax. But that's kind of how I feel about all these. Whenever they're asking, the citizens of wherever that location is to go ahead and pay for this millionaire, well, to be honest, if they own the team billionaire and you're going to put a tax on them when you got $1 billion in your pocket, insanity to me. I've always hated those taxes. No one should have to ever pay those, but they do exist because those cities like those because they bring in a lot of money. So you can argue, maybe I'm just not rich enough to understand. Absolutely hate it. I hate it when the teams decide to try to put that on them, but I'm glad they voted no. They're going to have to pay for it themselves. Let's switch gears here because we got to talk about Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and the numbers they put up for women's college basketball. Let me double check here, but I believe it was 16.1 million viewers on ESPN. That is more than the NBA Finals. That's more than the MLB playoffs. That's more than the Big Ten championship. The only thing it falls short of is college football. But that dominated everything else. Women's basketball, 16.1 million viewers. I was expecting a lot of eyes on it, but to surpass last year, just incredible. What does that say? To have 16.1 million viewers for that matchup in itself.
Things are changing. Female, especially in the not in the last year or so, but the last couple of years, they've stepped their games up, and they've wanted the attention and everything like that, and rightfully so. When it came time to show up and show out, they absolutely did it on a performance standpoint, and just going off from last year, part 2 of that, who didn't want to see that? Why wouldn't you want to see it? So it was a tough, interesting game. Both tip my hat to both competitors. They both play outstanding. But I mean, that's what you want in the sports world. You want to see the top of the top players play each other and everything like that. So it was good for the sport, period.
It's great to have superstars like that, and that's what moves the needle. As much as people want to bash on, it always drives me nuts too, and you can tell me if you disagree, but Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese are like the same players to me. They are both incredibly, they got swagger out there. They're very confident. They'll kind of be mouthy towards the opponent.
I don't mind the mouthiness. The mouthiness actually like makes it more funner and everything like that. Like
needle.
It's the passion of things and whatnot. Like that's sports. That happens in anything. If you get into it with one of your siblings, that happens. If you're competitive enough with a buddy at work, walking through a door first, like it happens. So I don't mind seeing that. I don't mind seeing the chirping and whatnot, and let it happen. They're not fighting each other, they're not scratching or tearing one another's head off physically or whatnot, but they letting them know that what's wrong with that. Nothing at all says, oh yeah, you need to behave. No, turn up.
I'm glad you agree with me because it's the dumbest argument I've ever heard. It's like you want these guys to be more boring. You want them to shoot a 3 and just put their head down and not get excited. No
emotion, no passion. Like they put their hard-earned sweat, blood, body, injuries, mental health, everything it takes, to be, a college athlete at that, and a woman.
Especially in women's basketball. Let's be real. Women's basketball in particular has always gotten shade, especially kind of for those guys to break through that and to draw 16.1 and beat out football and beat out men's basketball, beat out the NBA. That's impressive as hell. And they deserve, some swagger with that.
like I said, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't mind me, but doesn't. I like it. I think it's good, and I think a lot of female athletes should be comfortable with expressing yourself.
Yeah, and again, I think part of that's just social media. The most negative, loud, obnoxious opinions are going to surface. But yeah, it was always kind of drove me crazy seeing two players that have a lot of passion, that move the needle and excitement, and people are hating on it for no reason. It was great basketball, and the numbers proved it. I will say this, is there any fear that next year there's a drop-off? Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, they're both going to be gone, and that has certainly kind of been the engine. We have more young players, but it's going to be up to the marketing. Do you think women's college basketball is going to continue this growth, or do you think there might be a little bit of a stall? I'm going to say it's going to dip next year simply because of those two, but I'm not going to say it's going to be a heavy dip. I think they can continue somewhat of a steady growth here.
They have players on other teams and whatnot that bring their own styles.
Yeah, that UConn girl, I'm blanking on her name. Help me out real quick.
Paige.
Paige. She is a baller. She's
her, the freshman from South Carolina that comes off the bench. She hoops like it's street ball.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you got her, you got Juju. That UConn actually, I think, has a couple outstanding, athletes coming up or whatnot. So the expectation is to not necessarily everybody be like that. There's only one, Caitlin Clark. There's only one, Angel Reese. But letting their personalities and their game change the game how it has for these two individuals who got it that way. Will it dip a little bit? Yes, because it's stepping away from them. But that just opens a door for the next version or the next, person to express themselves and take control and put, lead off with their lead foot. So I don't think it'll be bad or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't know where it's going to come from, and nothing's wrong with that.
Yeah, my hope is this has taught them to put more cameras on women's basketball, because you got to care about you got to have to see their face, understand who they are, understand that personality before you get really invested. And I think in years past, we've probably missed some incredible runs because we just weren't seeing their faces. We weren't seeing it because media for the longest time thought nobody cared about women's basketball. You get a couple legitimate athletes, not even just a couple we talked about. You got multiple women's basketball players that are just killing it in college right now. My hope is that this continues to grow the same way volleyball is kind of making that step. And I just think women's sports in general, yeah, it's really doing well. With that being said, Iowa, do they got a chance to win this whole thing? I mean, Caitlin Clark's going to be playing South Carolina.
Yes.
You heard it here first. We'll throw it to break there. South Carolina is still going to take it away.
I'm not taking Iowa. Come on now. Like, I don't even know why. She's a phenomenal player. I hate Iowa. I'm not ever picking them, period.
That's fair. Spoken like a true Husker. And that's why people always got your respect out there. For anyone who remembers the Des Moines Pierson-El days and that Husker uniform. With that being said, we'll throw it to our final break here. This is the Don't Punt Hour. We got Des Moines Pierson-El streaming in. Harrison Arns on the 1s and 2s. Don't go anywhere. We'll talk to you in a little bit.
Bagels and Joe is the perfect place for breakfast or lunch in April. Try their brand new cake batter cream cheese on any breakfast sandwich. And try the caramel latte, as 10% of proceeds from that drink will go to the Foundation for Lincoln Public Schools. 4 locations in Lincoln and 1 in Seward. Bagels and Joe. Spring is a time of new beginnings and trying new things. If you haven't tried Fuhrer's cheese spread yet, the time is now. For parties for St. Patrick's Day and Easter, or celebrating the NCAA tournament with friends, there's no better dip to bring everyone together and celebrate something from Nebraska. Get to your local grocery store today and load up on Fuhrer's cheese spread. No event or party is complete without it on your table.
Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends. That's the greatest compliment we can receive. If you've been in an accident, we'll get you back in your vehicle as quickly as possible. Our technicians care about you and your family and repair your vehicle to factory standards. We handle your claim from start to finish and provide a free loaner car. Stop by for a free estimate. Eustace Body Shop, just south of 88th and Highway 2.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Sandhills Global is hiring. With their fast-paced, growing culture, they have hundreds of new openings in sales, marketing, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Full-time roles offer a 4.5-day work week, along with flexible internships in most areas. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Find your fit today at www.sandhills.jobs.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just a professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top-shelf liquor to crowd-favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
Jake Sorensen here for The Body Shop. My wife is nearing her due date with our first child and has been in need of a good massage as her body continues to change and adapt. Dennis and the team at The Body Shop were incredible with the prenatal massage that she's still talking about today. I was also able to get a deep tissue massage, so it was a great bonding experience and a unique couples massage in general. If you're in need of stress relief, book a massage today at thebodyshoplincoln.com. The Body Shop at 48th and A.
At Southeast Community College, community is our middle name. Our continuing education classes offer personal interest, traffic safety and licensing, online learning, and adult education classes across Southeast Nebraska or online in your own home. Learn pottery or floral design, take a computer course, learn Spanish, how to start writing a book, or Air Fryer 101. See the full schedule of continuing education classes online at southeast.edu/continuing. SCC, your path to possible.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Pierson-El.
All right, welcome back in. Final segment of the Don't Punt Hour. We got about 5 minutes here before we wrap things up. Again, you guys are always welcome to join Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and of course, Allo Channel 961. YouTube, if you want to rewind and catch anything you missed. We talked NFL trades, we talked women's college basketball, and mixed in a few other things as well, along with the KC Stadium renovation and the Royals' new stadium that got completely shut down by the state of Missouri. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and bring them in. Pierson-El. One last thing to wrap up here. I don't know if you're an MLB fan, but have you noticed how bad the jerseys are this year?
Baseball is not my sport. I don't really pay attention to it, honestly, until the World Series.
Don't worry, I got some NBA talk in my back pocket, but if you just want to do a quick go 2 years ago, MLB jerseys, and then look at when Nike took over, and Nike's trying to say they don't necessarily have the funds to get nice quality jerseys like they were in the past. Nike. out of all people. I know you're a Nike guy, but that's my beef with Nike. Adidas all the way, because those jerseys that they have in the MLB are absolute trash. And if you're wearing white,
I'm a Jordan guy. Jordan is different than Nike, so let me
you can't scapegoat on that.
Yes, I'm not scapegoat. I'm a Jordan guy. Period. Nike's cool. Jordan. It's
all right. I'm just saying, the jerseys are bad to the point where if you're wearing white, you damn sure better make sure that you got some extra garments underneath, because that thing's see-through. It's terrible this year. Blows my mind that the MLB jerseys could have gotten as bad as they've gotten when Nike took over. I hated it when they took over.
How are you a multi-million-dollar organization and you let that happen? Like, even, like I know they have, different sponsors, different reps that each team goes through to get things done and whatnot. Like, come on now. Like, how do you drop the ball on that? That's just, piss poor management right there.
Yep. We'll just give you a Nike statement here as to why. This is their, and it's the same crap they did with the NBA. They're lighter, they're loose fit, they're more comfortable. Nike claims the new jerseys is softer, lighter, stretchier than the previous model. NBA 2.0. Many players say it's worse. And the clubhouses around the league on Wednesday, they criticized the jerseys' poor fit, cheap look, inconsistent quality, and small tearing. It looks like a replica, Angels outfielder Taylor Ward said. It is exactly what they did to the NBA, and it blows my mind that Nike keeps getting away with this. They give you crap jerseys, probably cheaper, but it's just not fair to the players that have to go through.
So I wonder if you can like wear throwback uniforms and just like have that be. You can't.
Nike only, man. You can throw a throwback, but Nike's going to make that throwback for you, and it's going to be lighter, softer, more stretchy. Don't worry, it's all good. Nike said so. I got some
and yet we have problems with Nike and whatnot. Nike might be losing their grip a little bit.
Yeah, I've always been an Adidas guy, so take what I say with a grain of salt. But I've seen what they did to the NBA, and I'm not surprised that the MLB, the players hate it. It's just, you shouldn't be able to tear a jersey as easy as they do in the NBA. MLB, those small tears they're talking about, they're not kidding. So, a small slide, your pants could have a significant rip.
Pants. Time out. Got a wardrobe change real quick.
It's frustrating. That's where I'm at with Nike, but I just wanted to point that out because as we kind of gotten through opening day and all this, the jerseys, there's times where the logos and the whatever they have for designs, it'll be different the next day and they don't even match because they're producing so many. And I don't know who's putting them together, but it's just awful. And they need to get it figured out because the fans have noticed, the players have been outspoken about it. So next year, Nike, you better figure it out. Spend a little more money on those jerseys.
Next year, yeah, okay.
I don't think they're going to do it this year. Okay. They're going to hold
enough people will say something, or the right people will say something. Yeah, they'll do it.
Hopefully, they're listening to the show. Then maybe they'll do it faster. But nonetheless, that's where we're at with the MLB. And we got a little bit of time as we kind of wrap up. I did say I have some NBA talk. We'll keep it short, though, as we kind of look at these standings. The East, you got the Celtics, Bucks, Cavaliers in those top three spots. In the West, staying pretty consistent. Nuggets, Timberwolves, Thunder. Clippers, though, at 4, kind of a dark horse. The Los Angeles Clippers.
If they can stay healthy. If they can stay healthy.
Is that the team that can be? I think that if there's a team out there that's going to beat the Nuggets, I think it's got to be the Clippers. Because the Mavericks just don't have the matchups to quite figure that one out. The Warriors are like, they got to win yesterday over Dallas, but they're sitting 10th in the West right now. Draymond Green is
the Warriors aren't the same. And you'll see probably in the next year or two, you'll see, I think, some high quality pieces, get traded off or cut. If the Clippers can stay healthy, I think Denver better watch out.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Is there any other dark horses that you want to keep your eye on, or even the Boston Celtics? Not really a dark horse, but is this finally the year?
I like Minnesota. I just don't know if they're gonna have enough to get through Denver. Yep. Like I like Minnesota a lot. I like how they're playing. I like the energy that they have, what they bring to the game. Ant is just, he's becoming, he is a rising superstar. Not to say he's not a superstar, but I like what they bring. But it's just Denver is just a different monster.
Yeah, and that's a tough matchup too. I
yeah.
think I love the Minnesota Timberwolves in a lot of these matchups, but it comes down to Rudy Gobert when he has to go up against Jokic. That's just tough. It's just tough matchup.
He's taking his lunch money.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I still think it's the Nuggets, but the Clippers are intriguing. If there's a team out there that can compete, I think it would be the Los Angeles Clippers. With that being said, we're going to get out of here. Appreciate the time as always. Good morning, Pierson-El. We'll talk to you again next week. We got Supernovas tomorrow, so talk to you then. And that's going to wrap it up for the Don't Punt Hour. Appreciate you guys listening. We'll talk to you later.